Live.
So our topic today was influenced by our TA, one of our usual influencer, just like Rosa. So today, the thought of the day is: does a stronger hero yield a stronger villain, or like, does a hero really help our society?
Those are two different questions.
Are they? Because having a stronger villain means that, like, if a hero yields a stronger villain, doesn't that mean that the hero is ruining society by causing a stronger villain to take over?
What if heroes form to take down that stronger villain? That's already present. Not present because of that.
That's partially the question. Like, are heroes the cause of the bigger villain? Like, are they gonna cause a stronger damage? Like, are they gonna cause even more damages and stuff, like, hurt to the society by having a hero? Well, Rakesh, put down your work. Let's do class.
You can be on what? You did on
We're on
live.
live TV.
I was about to pull adjusting the system, but I just yeah. Look at it. Can you see everyone?
Probably not.
Okay, you wanna do it?
Here, I'll do it.
Okay, you wanna come over here.
Can you see everyone?
Get in frame, get in position. Amber, can you pull up that side a little bit?
Am I in it?
Not important.
I'm the professor.
Why?
I'm the professor. Just give it. Where do you
You're
usually
barely
put it?
in
Don't you
it.
just put it right there?
Yeah.
Or just put it there.
Okay.
Okay,
No,
technical
because
difficulties.
Raza was blocking you.
I can move a little bit this way. Technical difficulties.
Right, you scoot this way.
Touching much heroes in it?
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Not yet. They're getting soft.
Okay.
Alright, what's everyone's thoughts? Hero yielding, stronger villain, etc.
The way I see it, when I thought of this question, I was thinking of Batman. If like, cause a lot of people think like because Batman came into existence, more like crazy and more powerful villains came as a result of that. Because it's kind of like balance. If you have a really strong hero, you must have a really strong villain to counter that.
So nature should always have a natural villain. It's a natural scene of evil.
It seems so. I mean, and then if that is so, would we be better off without Batman? Are we in that scenario?
And you thought of Batman when you heard this. I thought of bacteria. Like, every time you have a bacteria infection, like, it's usually the fungal disease, fungal antibiotics and etc. that fight off the bacteria. So as one gets stronger, as the antibiotic gets stronger or it becomes more used, the bacteria become more and more resistant to the antibiotic or the fungal, and therefore the bacteria becomes stronger. So it's just a continuous cycle of both.
Mm-hmm. So in my case, are we?
But you have to think about Batman's also the reason why. How corrupted Gotham was? He's the reason why the city got cleaned up.
Sure, but as a result of that,
He caused the Joker
yeah.
and like stronger villain.
Didn't that cause the destruction of the entire city in like a different way?
That was Bane. And,
Yeah, that's the thing, but still.
and Bane didn't come for Batman. He came because
But yeah, Batman came into being in the first place because evil was being unchained. There was a disbalance in the first place. Batman balanced it, maybe.
But he's saying that technically, even though he balanced it, it got a lot worse because of Joker.
Like, it became more extreme.
People were dying, like on
Crazy.
TV.
Like, it's like what you said with Avengers too.
The Vision's dialogue over the past.
When they tried to like, even government tried to regulate them
Yeah.
And you're like,
conflict.
like
You can't
because of
destroy New
that.
York.
Yeah.
again.
Like, because think about it. If there's that much extreme, who is suffering? The common people, the
Mhm.
citizens are suffering. Even despite that they're extreme heroes and extreme villains, sure they could the heroes might counter the villains, but as a collateral damage, the citizens and the infrastructure, the common people are getting the most hit. So they should,
I mean, there's always villains always prefer to have more villains than heroes, right? And heroes always okay. In like a sensible world, no one thinks of having a balance between heroes and villains. Either heroes want it to be all good, or villains want it to be all bad for the city, right?
well,
So every single time a hero comes in so that a city becomes better and better, another villain is just gonna come arise and they're gonna be like, no, we need to make this worse and worse so that this never happens. And therefore just the attacks just keep getting worse and worse. As a result, the people are suffering, right? So if you just let the mediocre or low level villains have control to begin with, there wouldn't be as many attacks. The attacks won't be as strong as like they could have been, as vital as they could have been. So having an evil person controlling society over letting a good person control society and then leading to an even more evil person leading society is worse, right?
Like,
Does that make sense?
no, you're saying that you just let the bad people be those resisting them.
When you resist them, another person is gonna come up that's even stronger than them, and as a result, the common people are just gonna.
I'm quoting Bruce Wayne. I fight hard. I always do.
Or when the hero dies, what happens? There's always gonna be a villain.
That's the thing, and you can't like the other person stands up. Like there's always conflict between good and evil, and neither side gains the ultimate upper hand.
If just simply the villains just get a smaller upper hand and they just always remain in power, wouldn't that mean that only the people are just suffering the fact that they're like having a limited amount of freedom, but they're always having their own life and stuff? But on the other hand,
negative, then what if good has the slighter upper hand?
yeah, when every time the good has the upper hand, villains always are always gonna come back to fight back.
Same thing.
No.
Yeah.
If the other is true,
You're
then
trying to say that evil is more stronger than good.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm stating that if the good knows what's good for the city, they would let the evil remain. Evil's never gonna let the good remain.
It's funny. Opinion, share.
So I pretty much didn't listen to what JB said. But if I'm gonna answer the question, I think you can swap it. Like, a stronger villain constitutes a stronger hero, and a stronger hero constitutes a stronger villain. Because it's like, if everyone is unique, then no one is unique. If that makes sense. Like, if you have a hero that's strong relative to everyone else, then the hero's nothing he's fighting. There's no challenge.
okay, yeah.
So yes, I do think a stronger hero would yield a stronger villain if you're thinking that if a bad person wants to do something bad, they have to be strong. They have to pose a challenge.
So will we be better off without the hero then? So we won't have these extremities.
No, because I think because they're formed for a villain that's present at the time, right? So then at the time, then you need that hero to take that villain down. But when a new villain comes, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, you do your best to limit the damage that's caused.
is it better to have a weak hero and a strong villain, but eventually, I mean, on the other hand, rather than a strong hero yielding an even stronger villain?
Yeah, so like
Mm,
before Batman, it was the corruption with
Yeah.
the police and stuff. So compared to that, that's like nothing compared to the nuclear,
I know,
the
there's
the atom
nukes and
bombs
stuff,
that
like
Bane had, right?
destruction of the entire
So
cities. Like,
would you rather keep
society, like the people alive, but just in a corrupt world, or just keep destroying the entire cities?
the threat
Right.
keeps getting bigger and bigger?
And
Yes.
so did Batman. He lived up to the challenge. So he fought it
Yeah,
out.
it did, but the
But-
the
but look
threat
at-
is
look
There,
at
there
damage
were
in the
more
city.
damage. There's
A lot more people
far
died.
greater damage.
Batman was not involved in the equation. The city would be corrupt.
Right.
Yeah, but not as many people would have died though. Most likely not.
I wouldn't say one is better than the other. I'd rather have sacrifice in a just society rather than just crime-ridden society where everyone lives in fear.
I kind of agree
I
on that one.
guess.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Mm.
Would you rather have society that has
Also, you can't really see the connection between Batman caused Bane. League of
Yeah.
Shadows was always there. That was
Yeah, Bane didn't come because of Batman.
okay on a natural basis? It's just that's kind of
Okay,
like the
then-
cause.
Who else?
Joker.
Okay, I guess
Thanos?
Jackard. Oh, what the? Thanos is also sort of like always been there before.
Yeah, he didn't want the Avengers. He wanted.
he
The,
died.
But I would say like Joker, cause like Joker's like you complete me, right?
Yeah, that's natural more.
Yeah.
But the thing is that he didn't like make the situation worse for.
Oh, Harvey Dent. Did Batman not cause his?
no.
Um,
Joker did.
okay, but he ended up hating Batman too.
Yeah.
He ended up hating everybody
But
because they didn't lose what he lost, in his
yes,
opinion.
But he hated Batman too because he didn't. He saved.
Yeah, but that wasn't the reason for his demise and evil two-faced shit.
Yeah. Let's imagine that there's Group A who are villains, but not like very powerful villains or anything. They just have like, I guess they could be considered like
Cops.
corrupt cops. Like they put you at gunpoint and stuff, but they aren't gonna shoot you or anything. But rather they're just there to steal some money, some wealth, etc., just so that they could benefit. But they don't really want to hurt you or anything. So that yields a corrupt society. On the other hand, let's imagine a society where there's Group B and Group C, where Group B is a hero that goes up against Group C, which is a strong villain. So they both always have fights. In every fight, there's always going to be some damage to the civilians, either being property or their lives itself. And then eventually, like every time the hero beats the villain is just gonna get stronger and stronger, and so is the hero. And therefore, as they gain strength, wouldn't their fights get even worse and worse?
Yeah.
And therefore, there would be more and more damage and more deaths as a result. So, would you rather have a corrupt society or a society that has endless amount of deaths just as a result of two people's fights, their own selfish needs? Not really selfish in the case of like the hero's point of view, but
You're saying let evil thrive because you don't want to oppose, like you don't want to fight it.
You want a bigger.
you don't want a bigger damage.
I have a scenario for you. Hitler.
But Hitler was killing.
What is your application of Hitler in this topic?
What did Hitler do? He took out a couple million Jews, and as a result, 6 million. No, how many million people died? 20 million.
But I don't know how many.
6 million Jews died. 20 million Russians died. Some other amount, like 100 million in total. Everyone else died as a result of the war. So 120 million for 6 million people. Was it worth it?
So, but
He gave freedom for the Jews. That is
But-
correct. But
If no one stopped Hitler, then he would still continue to do what?
could he have? Could he go any further though?
Why not?
He only has
I
a
think-
limited amount of Jews inside his society. He can't get out and go to Israel and like yeah,
I know,
So
but
you
he
just stand back and let Hitler kill off all the Jews, or do you fight him and?
and then lose 120 million.
And cause a Great Depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. What
Like,
is the
what's
chances
your
of another
choice?
Hitler coming?
Hmm?
It's like making a statement, like.
No, okay, wait.
No, they're
Wait,
saying
there was a
at the time,
positive-
right?
There was a
There's-
different positive
There's
because
2 routes. You fight him and create recession worldwide for all
no,
the
it gained. It gave us benefits.
Yeah,
It
us.
took us out of.
Yeah, but okay.
we only did
Europe.
it because we only joined
Okay,
the war.
entire
because-
Europe is a political, economic shamble and social.
Yeah. But America just gained out of it. They were just like
They didn't
Minecraft.
just gain.
Yeah, they gained.
There's no way they only gained.
Okay,
Okay,
well, the
they
point
lost
is
people
overall.
for
Point
They
is
loaned
overall.
money to people who couldn't pay back.
Point is overall.
Overall, America gained money.
Did
America
they
lost people.
get paid back? I don't know if they
Yeah, they gained a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean that's because of the
Baby
weapon
boom.
manufacturing industry
Yes.
and everything.
okay.
Okay, but
So-
the point is, what route would you rather take? Would you rather take one that has him killing off 6 million Jews, or however many he ends up killing?
So let's say that he kills off 10 million and says, okay, 12 million and says,
Yeah.
Sure.
Let him go to the extent.
Would you let him let that slide?
No, the
Because you're
society
just
will
gonna watch him.
fall in ruins. That means like there's people get an idea that there's no one to question bad things, and there'll be more and more bad people.
Yeah.
but wouldn't there be a reduced amount of deaths though as a result?
Yeah, but you.
What are the chances of another Hitler being because of what happened in World War II?
There's always going to be another one.
Oh, it's
Right?
much less if he didn't.
In that case, there was one during
So
World
do you
War
agree
One.
with bombing Japan?
I don't agree at all. Bombing Japan.
Wait.
Why did we bomb Japan? So that
So
they don't get on
more
our nerves
people would
anymore.
die. They sacrificed Japanese lives for
Everyone else's
for
lives.
everyone else's
I
lives.
mean, isn't that what Hitler technically did in the other end of the spectrum? He killed off Jews' lives so that
What?
I mean,
For
for his own selfish needs, I guess, yeah. But like, he would have preferred it if no one else
Did
came into
you
war.
agree with it?
Agree with bombing?
Japan?
It ended the war.
It ended the war, so yes. Knowing that it ended the war, yes. If I had to make a decision before, I have no clue.
Like too risky.
I
Yeah.
mean, Japan still was attacking America.
Yeah, they picked the fights, but I don't know if I would have 2 atomic bombs on them.
Yeah, I know. Like,
But the idea is innocent people are also dying. I mean,
And
I know you're
it
doing it for the
affects,
greater
like,
cause.
affects like
I know you're doing it
okay.
for the greater cause to end the war, but your innocent lives are.
what's the greater cause worth it?
Yeah.
Like, are those innocent people like they weren't part of the war? You didn't just
Like
kill off
personally,
some-
I wouldn't take
collateral
that.
damage.
If I was in that same position, I would not take that step.
Yeah, you
Personally.
got rid of the corruption, which is the war, so that innocent and as a result, as a result, a lot more people died.
I know it's easy to say to find another way to end it, but
There's-
that's what.
But
Yeah.
if you didn't, then you would have prolonged the war for however
Right.
many years, and that would have made more suffering too.
But that is true. But
it's
But
longer suffering. This
Yeah.
is more like short and intense
yeah, short and intense or longer
versus
suffering.
long, but and more.
I mean, we don't know if Japan would have ever came to a truce or not.
Why would they?
But
Like,
that's what the
give 'em-
outlook.
just
But
give 'em
that's
some
what the
land.
outlook was looking like, right?
We're
If you
talking
didn't
about
bomb them, that's what it was looking like.
Just give them some land. Be like, yeah, just take this much.
Isn't
Just
that-
take all of China.
no, all we had to do
Ah!
was decide, like with Germany giving up, Allied forces winning, and
Yeah, that's
America's
true.
resources, they would have choked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Japan couldn't handle this.
Japan couldn't just self-sustain against the entire world.
All we had to do
So,
was
It
just
was, yeah,
sit
Hitler
tight.
was dying from both fronts.
So was it
But
worth?
like America wanted to make a statement there and one up the Russians.
They wanted to be the superpower.
pretty much.
They wanted to flex on them.
Actually. Yeah, Russia actually kinda now we don't talk about
Russia's weather. Not even Russia, their weather.
Shrinking Khabib.
He thinks he's the king now.
So,
We have
what was it? So, was it worth it or not?
not responding to evil is not.
Yeah.
But like,
When didn't America respond to the evil?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from their point of view, we did respond to the evil. If you
more
look
or
at,
less defending yourself, but yeah, sure.
were you defending yourself? Japan wasn't fighting America after their first bomb.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
took
They
it.
did. After they bombed Pearl Harbor, and then they started to fight, but then they went backwards. They went back. They did not fight America after Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, but they wanted. America kind of wanted to take revenge on Japan.
So it's just a active vendetta.
No, but it was also to.
It was.
I mean,
no,
there's a lot of
that's a pretty selfish reason.
No, there's a lot of reasons. That was one of the reasons.
Japan bombed one American ship, which had a lot of armament.
Yeah.
As a result, America bombed 2 entire cities.
Yeah.
With millions of citizens.
Yeah.
Is that equal?
I mean, you're in war.
Really, like America was never like.
It's not equal.
That's
But
not-
is it equal to the amount of deaths that could have happened after?
But it's
We
like,
don't know if there would have been more deaths afterwards.
So what decision do you make? Do you let it go on, which could be for so long?
I mean, Japan only has a limited amount of supplies. They can't.
Do they?
That's-
But if someone punches you, wouldn't you punch twice as hard back?
You would.
You punch so they don't punch anyone again.
Yeah, but okay. Well, if someone punched you, wouldn't you attack them?
Okay, what was the cause behind why Japan attacked America? So that America would be too scared to attack in the war. Alright?
Okay, yeah, sure.
And then they didn't want America in the war at all. And then when America came in the war, they were like, dang it, we didn't want that. Alright?
Yeah.
But they didn't bother attacking America at all. Like, they weren't trying to attack America, they were just trying to frighten America.
Sure.
But as a result, America just like ruined 2 entire cities
Yeah, okay.
of Japan.
You poke the bear. That's what you get.
What the? Can.
Like, what did those 2 million, like, what did those citizens do? They didn't want the war.
What did the Jews do? Like,
Yeah.
you can't
No.
say that.
What did those?
If you're on the enemy team, you're on the enemy team. You have to expect it. I'm not saying that it's the right thing to do, but they were on the Axis powers, so
It was
I
a hard
mean,
decision.
you're on-
Being patient was definitely.
I mean, in the case of
you're on the
Jews,
enemy side. So you should expect something if you bomb me.
in the case
Yeah.
of the Jews, let's look at it from a different perspective. Let's say that immigrants just keep coming into your country, right? Now there's like a minority, right? Minority, right? So as a result, the people that used to be the majority are jealous of how these people are taking over whatever you had.
Sure.
Isn't that what the Germans were thinking of? And then, like, Hitler just exploited that and just stated that let's get rid of these people so that we have more for ourselves. This is our land and it belongs to us, not to these people. Is that not correct from his point of view? I mean, murdering all those people, I know that's not correct, but from his perspective, was it not right to get rid of the people so that there are more opportunities for the Germans, who actually belong there?
He was also using the Jews as a scapegoat to
Yeah, there was no Germany.
to rally their
Germany
morale.
didn't exist at that time. It was just German-speaking peoples in cluster. I guess there's more German-speaking people there, but like
It was to unite the
it's
Germans.
just a scapegoat. It's
Yeah.
you're using Hitler's argument, but it's not a good argument.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different kinds of peoples in Europe.
And like, it's just absurd. You can't just kill people because they have blue eyes.
No. I'm not stating that you're supposed to kill them. I'm just stating that from his perspective, wouldn't it be technically right to like separate out the Jews so that we have more opportunities for ourselves?
No.
I mean, we had the same problem in America too.
Yeah, we did.
But did we
We
kill
got-
all the immigrants?
We got rid of all the Chinese.
Okay, but you
It's
didn't.
not.
But you didn't
Not
kill
the same.
them.
Okay, yeah, we did a different way.
Okay.
We made sure that the Chinese suffered by making sure that they stayed in China instead of letting them come into America. Isn't that is that wrong or what?
No,
You made sure that the people
immigration quotas or like stuff like that, not killing off.
immigration quota, which led people to always just stay there. It's literally a ban on the Chinese, so that they can never come here for a prosperous
Yeah,
life.
I just said you're not
So
invited.
beautiful.
That's it. That's not killing. That's not nowhere near. It's the
I'm
same.
not stating that killing is evil, like right or wrong. I'm stating that, like from Germany's point of view, that's what they did. They just wanted to make sure that
And
Jews-
that was wrong. Okay.
I mean, isn't an immigration quota in that case? Isn't that wrong too?
No, it's not. How is an immigration quota wrong?
But then again, you're saying that if the immigrants come, you said they were jealous, right?
Yeah, they were
So,
jealous. I mean,
they're-
isn't
so-
that what America was doing?
Yeah, but you're
They were
saying.
jealous. They did it for a wrong
But you're
cause.
justifying their killing because they were
I'm
just
not justifying
jealous.
their killing. I'm justifying their cause.
Okay, they're
Just
jealous.
because they were jealous. That was just because of a feeling.
I mean, what about America? Weren't they jealous? Isn't that the only reason?
Hampton University.
What other reason was there for America to get rid of the Chinese?
Yeah.
There
There were no more opportunities, but that was the
That
right
makes no
thing to
sense
do.
because
Not
she's so smart.
killing them off. They just said, okay, you're not invited.
But isn't that killing them off in a different perspective? They make sure that they can't come here and therefore they have no other
What
opportunities
do
to
you
live
think
off.
happens in China? They're not freaking starving. to
They
death.
were starving to death and that's why they came here.
Okay, they're just like, okay, you guys figure it out. We can't take no more. That's not the same as, okay, if you come here, I'm gonna shoot you up. See what you're
And
saying?
isn't that a different kind of quota? Aren't you making sure that no one comes here too?
No. Oh my god.
But they
It's
came
a
back
more
after.
threatening.
They came back after. They lifted the
They
ban.
lifted it, yeah.
Yeah, so-
But I mean, we don't know if and a different ruler came, if a different ruler came, whether or not Germany would have done the same thing. We don't know. It's just what
Yeah,
if Hitler's just an extreme case, and then they were like after Hitler did something, okay, let's not do that. Like let's make sure it's like a bit more peaceful, so that okay, Jews like you should only have like a limited percent of it, so that only this much should come here. Like everyone else must just leave. I
There
mean,
was
Hitler
not
took it to a different extreme.
an active immigration of Jews at the time. There were just Jews there.
Yes,
Just didn't like them.
he did.
It's not Jews taking up the jobs of the
It-
government. They're
I
not
mean,
like.
in a case, yes, it was them taking away a lot of
That's
what.
not what he was concerned about. He thought of them as like an impure race or something. I don't know what his was, but still, the point is, what he did was not right. Is there any argument against that?
How can you just state
Like,
that
if
someone
you
is
so-
wrong? You
sorry.
can't just state that someone is wrong.
Okay, are you saying that Hitler is right?
I'm not stating that.
Okay, there, end of the line.
I'm just stating that you can't just consider someone
I don't
wrong
think
because of
he
his
is,
perspective.
'cause
So from our
Well,
perspective, what
like,
America's doing is
some-
always correct. It's not. From someone else's perspective, what they're doing is correct.
There's
He
a
tried to
reason
be
why Hitler
academic.
was put down and
Tried to
America is
shoot.
not.
Okay, in that case, Stalin killed up 20 million Jews, 20 million people.
That was
Okay, so-
Is that correct or wrong?
Didn't it?
So back to
No,
the
no, no,
thing.
no. That wasn't war. That was just killing them off.
So
But
back.
What did
you can't like meddle with other countries' affairs
Oi.
like that.
What's
Even though we
why,
like to do that.
why did Stalin kill off 20 million people? Was it for the
Talking
war
about
or
He
was
put
it
himself in power.
what? Rakesh, just listen. You're just getting off subject.
What is the subject? Oh my goodness, I'm getting off subject.
Exactly. 20. Why did Stalin kill off 20 million people? Was it for the war or
Oh,
was
yeah,
it just
that's
because he
something
wanted
we're
to?
talking about, yeah, Stalin.
Did we consider him evil for until after America got into war with? I mean, not war, but into the Cold
Why
War.
didn't they go? When?
Who-
Like,
But I thought you were in Europe
when?
before,
Like
before
to, yeah,
the
to
war.
keep himself in power.
Yeah, to
and-
keep himself in
yeah.
power, he killed off 20 million people, right?
Yeah.
But we always only talk about the 6 million people that, like Hitler killed off, which started. Which
No, that's not. We don't all just talk about that.
we don't really talk as much about
That's
Stalin.
that's the only thing we know.
Yeah, Stalin
Right.
was a dictator, and like he killed people when there was political conflict. Hitler was different. He put people in concentration.
to make sure he was
camps
always
just
in power still.
No, just because he wanted them dead. They were not posing a real.
How do
threat
you
to
know
him or
that?
anything.
Were you Hitler when
story?
you recognized him?
Okay, were you Hitler?
I'm just stating from a different perspective. Like
Yeah,
he killed 6
same.
million. He killed 6 million. The other person killed 20
If the
million.
Jews were not leading a rebellion to overthrow Hitler, he was just killing them. That's how he got in power in the first place.
6 million versus 20 million. What's more valuable?
Okay, different motives.
Different motives. So one person is more.
I don't
evil
view
because-
it like that though, because at the time you're not thinking, what's it called, 6 million versus 100 million that are gonna die. You don't think like that. You think out, okay, what way can I end this from becoming more problematic? If another problem comes on, okay, then you deal with that. But that's not, you can't think like that. You have to think with the motivation and idea that you want to end whatever problem is going on. You don't have a choice to look in the future and be like, okay, do I have a choice of avoiding this or avoiding that? If you can, that'd be a different topic. Or a different.
What is your argument, Jimmy? I'm not understanding.
I don't think it is either.
You're comparing the death count and making Hitler seem less of a villain? Is that
No,
what you're
okay.
saying?
From his perspective, was he a villain?
From his perspective?
Yeah,
Obviously
from-
not. Why would he be doing it?
No, I mean, what is
Joker believed that he was a villain.
Yeah, Joker believes
Yeah,
that he
that's
was
a
a
movie.
Yeah, but
I
Joker
think
was
that
This is
different
also
from Hitler.
crazy.
Yeah, Joker was different from Hitler.
Joker's
He
real, I'm
wanted to
Batman.
cause chaos, but Hitler wanted to purify the world.
Yeah, he believed he was.
Wait, so what's the
He
debate
wrote a
right
whole
now?
book about it in
Yeah,
jail.
So what's the debate right now?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what Jimmy's point is.
Okay, so let's say, so if he's not a villain in his eyes, so what?
Wait, what?
Oh my god. So if he's not a villain in his eyes, then so what?
Okay, he's not a villain in his eyes. So if he accepts his what he stated, wouldn't we be reducing the amount of people that we are like as a result of the fight between us and him?
Or we reduce what?
Wouldn't
That's
we?
some ELL BS right there.
Wouldn't we be reducing the amount of collateral damage as a result between our fight with him
If he believes
if
that,
we accepted his beliefs?
why would we accept his beliefs?
I mean,
No.
So you're saying what would have been a better place if you let Hitler be?
Oh well, I guess we'd be reducing the deaths, but that's.
But you
You're
still
killing an entire culture.
That's not how we do things.
I mean, how about making a deal with him so that you just get rid of like
They did. He did make
There
deals
were
with
many
them.
deals
Yeah.
made.
No. The deals were made so that he
He
just,
was going for world power.
yeah, he was going
used
for
the
gold.
Jews as a scapegoat.
To keep in
I agree.
No, we
Okay.
were like, yeah.
Why don't the good agreement would have been just like, okay, let's just get rid of the Jews from Europe and then just put them somewhere else. That was not a deal ever made in the beginning.
Okay. Poland was attacked. Like,
Poland,
randomly.
that's a different thing.
Like if
He-
you let him be, they're just eating up the whole one piece at a time. Where's my charger? Thinking about bad people.
Okay, so at the end of the day, do y'all think that it's better to,
Have a hero or not?
yeah, especially if there's gonna be a bigger villain that causes more problems later on? Would y'all want that hero in society? Ever then? I know personally I would.
Why?
Because I don't look at it like, okay, wow, this is gonna be a bigger villain coming on. I look at it and there's a problem. We need to fix that problem. That person fixed it.
But keep in mind, if there's a problem and it's a hero, that your life is more in threat.
Okay.
Uh,
It's because of him I have a real shot at life anyways.
Wait, I have a.
I would be willing to sacrifice myself for the greater, like an increase.
That's not what I'm saying.
okay.
No, I'm just saying from a different perspective. Like there are two
Think about this.
perspectives in this.
Think about this. You're living in a bad society. Strong hero comes up and cleans up your society, right?
And then a different hero
It's-
villain comes in and
I
like,
hate to resort to this, but there's a lower probability that.
Probability? Is that even real?
I hate to resort to that, but still. There's a lower probability that stronger villains will win. Because if a good person is cleaning up the society, he will inspire more good people because he's standing for justice. Whereas bad people would have less and less motivation, right? First of all, their cause is not right.
okay, where did that
And
good
they're all
person
getting
come
beat
from?
up by the good person, you know?
Where did
Yeah,
that go?
okay,
That's not the argument.
think of. Okay,
Couldn't a bad person just come in and just
I'm not very informed on politics stuff, but like Middle Eastern and the United States.
Yes.
Does the United States help or not?
Do we? I
Okay,
don't
we
think
do,
so.
but I'm saying should we or not? Should we be a hero or should we let them?
That's a good.
That's a good.
I mean,
I don't
That's
think
exactly what we're asking right now.
when we
I do not agree.
know which side is good and which side is evil.
What do you mean? How do we
definitely-
determine that?
It's sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not. When it's not obvious, it's a harder choice.
Okay,
No.
Let's okay. We're sided with Saudi Arabia versus against Iran.
Are
I mean,
we 100% sure that the side we are on is the good side? Like a hero should come to beat up criminals. We're 100% sure.
We just don't like Iran. That's why do we not like Iran? Because Iran just killed off a few of our
So-
people.
What about the other?
So it's not the same scenario.
Because we put in the CIA.
Yeah,
and
we put in our
everything.
people, and then they found out and they took them
Yeah.
out, and then now they're in
It's
power.
our fault.
Yeah, it's our fault. It's our fault
You
for
made it
trying
sound
to
like
take-
it was their fault.
No. Why does America? I was trying to say.
I was just making sure.
What about the Israeli?
I'm never in support of what America's doing right
What
here.
about Israeli and
Palestine.
yeah?
America's inside of Israel.
Yeah. Why?
Why? Because okay, as far as Palestine is concerned,
How's Ashish?
He's watching.
With no hero, there is 0% chance of a good future.
Oh wow.
With the hero, there is some.
Oh wow. She. Hey, she.
okay.
I mean, it's a lot of time when it's.
Yeah.
He's always on the computer.
Cricket cop side.
Maybe he's like angry with the part-time student.
Okay. In that case,
He said he does.
in that case, is America the hero or not?
In this situation, yeah, it is.
Is America a hero?
For
Yeah,
Israeli
they're
Palestine.
going to.
They're
solve
only a
something
hero
else.
for one side. They're not the hero for. I mean, do you know if it's for a greater?
For the other side, it's just a normal society.
So let's just say that it's not the same scenario because we don't know who's right and who's wrong for sure.
We don't know who's right or wrong. What if we're helping the wrong side?
Why did we help Israel in the first place?
Why are we helping Israel? Because of World War II.
Political interest.
Why?
Okay, Britain gave space land for Israel. They just went into Palestine. Okay, since there was no people in Israel to begin with. I mean, they all went around the world. They went to Germany and stuff, right? That's why the Germans started killing them off. Yeah. So the land that used to be there, just now the Palestinians just took over. They were like, okay, there's no one here, so might as well just use up the land, right? Doesn't that make sense? There's no one here, no one's taking it anymore. So we, as far as they're concerned, we might as well just take over this land,
Sure.
right? And then at the end of World War II, Britain just comes in and just places all of Israel, and they're like, okay, you guys could just go back here and stay there. After Palestine's been living there for a while now.
Oh, okay.
So as far as Palestine sees, their house is being invaded by other people, and as far as Israel was concerned, back in the past, this used to be our home, and so we need our home back.
Okay.
And then America's on the side of Israel, who's like, this is our place, and the Arabs are on the side of Palestine, who's like, this is our place, and eventually became partially religious, partially political, partially everything. So whose side is correct? America is only siding with Israel because they don't want to side with Palestine. America is only siding with Saudi Arabia because they don't like Israel. I mean, what do you call it? Iran. America is only siding with South Korea because North Korea is on the side of Russia. So who's correct? Is America correct in being the political hero in joining in a separate side? Who's the right side?
The buffer.
Shouldn't America just do nothing and let them be? Let them do whatever they're supposed to be doing, and America be concerned in whatever they're supposed to be concerned in, instead of making a certain team stronger and as a result.
Why not add less of buffer, like you said? Let things
in a different case, America just provides extra excesses of extra military power to some certain places, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in like Iraq and like Afghanistan and stuff, they just give power for the government so that the government could be in power. But if the government does not have the power, which is the result of why many terrorists are getting the huge weaponry that they have right now, is because America's giving the power to the government, but the government do not have the power to hold on to it, and as a result, terrorists are taking over whatever the government had and taking. So whatever weapons that we gave to the government is what they're taking back. Like the terrorists are taking.
Okay.
So if we didn't give it to begin with, would the terrorists have any weaponry to begin with? No, they wouldn't have. So are we not yielding our own democracy? And because, well,
I think
Does
it's.
that mean you should not have the right intention?
is our right intention correct? Are we just supposed to just provide off like extra materials to the government and watch as the terrorists just keep rising, and then you just keep providing even more military supplies, even stronger military supplies to the government? As a result, the terrorists are just going to keep getting.
Alright, Ashish contributed, that's more important. Morality is supposed to be universal for all humans, the morality of humans, you know. So probably 90% of people thought that Hitler was doing something wrong, that's why there were so many allies. America was correct overall in ending the war. It's impossible to decipher which specific decisions would lead to a good outcome. No one can tell the future, and
Really,
retrospective
Ashish becomes so
is
intellectual. Hey,
very
Ashish.
misleading.
So philosophical. I
Wait,
didn't know
what?
Ashish was
What?
like that.
No one can tell the future, and retrospective can be very misleading.
Save it and then read it.
Say that.
Keep reading it.
I did.
That's it.
Oh wait, is he calling or am I calling? Oops.
So is America right? And additionally to, she's just.
I don't know enough about it.
I think it's inevitable for something to be that simple. Cause whenever someone makes a move,
There's like 5-second delay.
yeah, there is. Whenever there's a move, whenever someone tries to make a move, it's gonna influence like a huge part, like everyone. It's gonna influence everyone, especially as a nation. So it's gonna be inevitable for it to be that simple, like just to keep it as a buffer or something. So, because if you think about it, let's think about like chess, right? Even though like there's a lot of things backing, like even if you move a pawn, there's a lot of things backing up that pawn that will cause a chain reaction and all that things, right? So if you, especially when you're trying to make a move or trying to do anything, in which you as a nation you always are, it's never gonna be that simple to just have no conflict at all. Someone's always not gonna like what you're doing. So that's why then you have that ties, that complexity, which creates it more extreme levels and extreme threats. So to answer the question,
I'm asking if America's doing it right.
oh, that question.
As
It's not right or wrong. They're just doing their part.
are they doing their
They're
part?
playing their role.
Aren't they really doing their role?
Yeah.
Why doesn't America just stand still and
They
let-
can't because.
What do you mean they can't? They can.
Because then it's like I said, like then you'll lose. Like think about it. If you
Who's losing? Not you. It's those between those two. It's not you that's affecting it. You're not the cause of either one of those. So why should you be involved?
If we're like in the case of Germany, we did nothing until it became a big problem. So
Okay, but
like why we like keep monitoring stuff so that nothing goes out of hand.
we can monitor it, but why do we need to be part of the war though?
If you monitor it and not do anything, what does it do? By
Yeah, monitoring and not doing anything is the same thing.
I meant like regulating, so that things don't get.
But by doing it, are we just not making sure that it's only beneficial for our side? Like it's helpful,
Maybe it
it's
is
good in
beneficial.
our side, but
Maybe
not.
it is only beneficial on our side.
I mean, if you check out a poll or like survey of like the entire world, what country they're most afraid of, America states it's Iran, but 99% of the rest of the world states it's America. Everyone's afraid of America. We're inflicting fear upon others. Are we doing the right?
That's true.
Everyone's stating
I
that.
don't think that's true.
You could search up. You search up right now.
What every country in America?
What country does everyone fear? What country does each country fear? Or something of that sort.
You're saying Britain fears America.
Yes.
You're saying France fears America.
A lot of countries fear America. Even European countries fear America. You're searching it up?
Mm-hmm.
For what? Fear them in what way?
And political takeover or anything. Too much control over the world, etc.
Okay, this is what she said. I think discussing current issues today and thinking of solutions would lead to better conversation rather than Jibby rambling and everyone getting annoyed. Just some advice for the daily podcast.
No.
I mean, we don't research those, so we can't really have academic.
We're not gonna research. It's too much work. Wait, why doesn't the sheesh do the research? Because he's always on the computer and then tell us what to do.
Okay, just answer the question.
Wait, I have a question for you. So you think if there's a villain, that there should be no hero? You think it should?
No, I'm not thinking that. I'm just saying that.
But you've been arguing for that the entire time.
I don't agree with it.
Oh.
It doesn't mean I can't argue for it.
Okay.
In debates, like you don't just argue for the side that you like. You can also argue for the side that you don't like.
Hey, so
Serious one.
Serious one according to this website, Atlas and Boots.
What serious one of what?
Most feared countries in the world.
Syria? Who fears Syria?
US is 42. On this one, 43. Next one. This one's the most dangerous country in the world.
Sure, right there. Biggest threats to peace. Countries that actually have a political view. Two countries find it to be Iran. Everyone else finds it to be America, pretty much.
I just found another for Syria. Kiora said United States.
That's just because they don't like America.
What?
All those countries don't like America.
Are you stating that India doesn't? Okay, India's
India.
Okay. Are you stating that Australia doesn't like America? Are you stating that Spain doesn't like America? Stating that what countries that is that? Okay, that's Germany. Are you stating
That's France.
No, that's France. France thinks of it as Syria. Okay, yeah. Mexico. Do they not like America?
No, they
No,
don't.
now they don't.
All
Okay.
my sources say Syria.
All my sources. No, okay. Only one of my sources. Only France is afraid of Syria, according to this.
Wait, that's just because they had the recent terrorist attacks.
Yeah. Pakistan's only afraid of America, even though America's in a greater alliance with Pakistan than they are with America. I mean, India. You ever thought of that?
I don't want to.
You're either most afraid of your neighboring country, or for some reason you're in.
I can understand thinking that United States can be like the biggest threat to a country, but I don't think they're the most feared country. Does that make sense? Biggest threat because of the advancement of technology and the amount of power we possess, in accordance to everybody else. But in terms
If
of
a
fear,
bad ruler comes into power of America, wouldn't that mean that
we have one right now.
What the?
nothing has happened? So
No, there's.
Can a president do something?
yeah, he can declare. He can go to war.
No.
He
Okay.
can't declare war.
First of all,
He can go into
I can quote you saying one time when we were here that the president really can't do anything, so why does it matter who's there? I remember you saying that.
Okay, I agree with that. But he does have the power to nuke though. He does have the power to use all
Without Congress.
without Congress.
Yeah, he does.
But
He can't declare war though,
He
right?
can't declare war.
Okay,
He
but
can't do
any
anything.
person in his right mind wouldn't do that. Because that's like the end of humanity as we know it.
So why didn't Russia do that already?
Why did Russia do it? Because they know what's gonna happen as a result.
So why would anyone do it? No one would do it.
No one would do it, but anyone can. If they have the power, they can.
That's why they're a threat, but not fear. As
Meow.
Man, there should be a podcast.
Okay. Anyway, back to the topic.
do you remember already?
Yeah.
Surprised.
Well, anyone want to conclude? Well,
I mean, I
our
think
pick has
another
never
thing-
been on topic.
Yeah, right. That's you.
Any concluding thoughts?
I mean, I already said mine.
Okay.
What's
So, are you ready?
stronger?
Clockwise or counterclockwise?
Clockwise.
Okay,
Yes,
then we're
fine.
I think
oh, she
For-
she's just
a villain to be able to be called a competent villain or a competent threat, it has to own up to the strength of a strong hero. So yes, a strong hero will yield a strong villain.
Wait, say that again?
Basically, if there's a strong hero, then there has to be a strong villain. I'm not saying that there has to be a strong villain, but if there is to be a villain, it has to be strong because of the strength in the hero.
Right.
So there would either be greater conflict or no conflict at all.
Or negligible conflict.
So
I mean, couldn't the hero just become a villain as a result?
That's a different
It
scenario.
could, but that's a different question.
but also answer if the society would be better without.
Okay, Ashish makes a good point. Heroes come from a need. Heroes don't exist without a threat.
Yeah, but the threat keeps getting higher and higher.
Does it though?
Yeah.
Think about Gotham in the beginning of Ragnarok. They were getting squandered. And if Turk was not in the situation, it would have been all secured by Harvey Dent and Batman. There were like more and more cops growing like daring, willing to go down the villains. The Joker was just like one freak who was like, F the world, I'm going for Batman.
But still.
You
You
didn't
can
see
think
like
of
a,
it.
you were not seeing a stronger generation of criminals that were like worse than what was before. There was just this one person. The people were getting better, the cops were getting better, the criminals were growing scared.
Well, wouldn't the criminals just have a higher technological advances?
But like they don't have that incentive because like when criminals are getting behind bars and heroes are so rated, people obviously have the incentive to be on the good side. I mean, there would be like a paradigm shift to bad villainy
In that case,
across the disturbance, and that just has to happen with time.
in that case, in modern society, there's a higher risk of getting caught for doing drugs and other sorts of things. Like there's greater threats, like as in like higher punishments, a stronger punishment for doing drugs in other cases. But drug use has only been increasing. It has not been reducing. As a result, you're increasing the threat of towards drug users, but the amount of drug users is just increasing. The percent of drug users is also increasing. It's not just by the population; it's just the percent overall.
Well, it's becoming more legal now.
Yeah. So now they're just making
So your argument that the justice system is becoming harsher is not exactly true.
No, okay. Until a certain extent, it was, and then after liberalism came forward, don't want to make that a YouTube argument, but rather like as liberalism came, wouldn't I mean that specific the drugs, like we were starting to agree with whatever the drugs were, right? Like
I didn't understand it either.
Like, if you look at the drugs as a villain and consider the justice against the drugs to be heroes, aren't you supporting drugs? Aren't you supporting the villain in a different case? Aren't you making it so that the villains are?
Okay, how about this? A stronger hero yields a stronger villain. Let's just say that that has to happen at least in the long run, alright? That would also conversely mean that this stronger villain would yield a stronger hero. So that like has to happen if this has to happen, right?
No. What I'm
So there
saying.
would either be cycles of good dominance versus bad dominance, or there would be stability. There are no situation where one side is on top and that stabilizes.
Listen. So what I'm labeling is, if we consider the use of drugs to be evil, and the justice against drugs to be the heroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as the justice towards it gets stronger, like as we increase the amount of strength, like harshness of the punishment, that means that we are that's also yielding more and more people into drug users, right?
No.
Yes.
If
There's
using
still more
drugs have
people.
higher
If there's
punishment,
more
does
laws,
that mean
then
more
there's
people
less.
There are more. There has been more people.
No, like think about it. If you give a higher punishment for using drugs,
It doesn't logically mean it, but they do it. They have done it. That's exactly what's happening.
There's no causation between.
There was a result. Like, as there is a correlation. I'm
There's
saying
no causation.
there was a correlation
So
though.
one doesn't make the other.
There was a correlation. So you
Must have been different factors like the social degradation of the moral values of the society or something. Not because the punishment is high, people are doing more drugs.
But it's still happening though. Even even though there is a higher punishment, there's still an increase. So
Are you sure? Do you know that drug use
Yes.
has been increasing?
yes, there's actual like
Illegal use of drug has been
Yes.
increasing.
yes, it has.
Also, like we're
It's not by population. I'm talking about by percentage of population.
but like it's not the same. You know it's like
What do you mean? I know it. I'm just stating the facts.
drug use is like there are other issues involved like personal freedom and stuff, and it's like not necessarily hurting people. And we have laws against this, and they're properly enforced. And like people are not going like violently against the law or like going bad because the law is enforcing it. Like it's just a different situation.
What?
Like
I just
okay, what are you trying to get at? Like
But now as we're yielding more like legalization of such drugs, aren't we making the justice weaker so that as a result we might have a weaker villain? I guess I don't know. Like the villains are just gonna remain constant. I don't know. Or degrade.
okay, the solution is never doing nothing when there's hordes of people.
Yeah, we're getting rid of the heroes. Is that not? We're more or less getting rid of the
But
heroes.
it was never like
Like, what kind of an argument is that? People are doing bad things. Instead of fighting, let's just let them do whatever they want. Like, is that really?
I just labeled it from a different perspective.
That doesn't even need it.
I labeled it.
But that's
drugs.
different. Like murder versus doing drugs. That's completely different.
Sure, like.
They're two
Like murder, you can say is a villain, but
Sure,
drugs
okay.
is still questionably
Sure, yeah, they're.
villainy.
You're trying to, like, make it legal or, like. Yeah. You're not trying to, like, exterminate them like we're trying to do with murderers. Okay? So, like. Are the
Why not?
number of murders are increasing with the punishment of murder?
I don't know what the numbers on that.
So like yeah, the drug
Check it.
use is a specific case.
Check it.
Just because it's going up doesn't mean that all criminal activities are going up because of justice system being strengthened. Is crime rates going up because there's a high punishment? Murder, rape? Just because one thing there's this. Okay, she says depression is growing as an issue in humans, most likely from the increased ability of living with without requirements of social interaction, more people turn to drugs because there are less things to tell them it's bad. And the increase of drug usage release an evil intent. Most people want legal drugs for recreational use. So yeah, it's not exactly an evil thing, and it's not caused by the justice system. There's like, they're just two things randomly happening at the same time. The strong justice system and more people using drugs. They don't have a conviction.
Right now, there's a crime rate of around 400 per.
I thought we were on concluding thoughts. How do
I don't know what the f, like what does the drug thing? What are you trying to establish with that?
Yeah, current crime rate.
Oh, you used it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1960 crime rate used to be around
My goodness.
180 per 100,000 people.
Matter.
Listen,
It doesn't
listen.
make sense to say
Can
that.
you listen?
No,
Can you
you
listen?
for once, you're just. Oh my god.
Can you listen? 180 per 100,000
I
people.
said my concluding thoughts.
180 per 100,000 people. Modern day is 400 per 100,000 people.
Why do you work on state
Right.
laws?
I'm not. That's.
We increase the amount of
It's only
we
for
increase the laws and
Oh, I
regulations.
do in my notebook.
But
still.
crime rate
I
still
don't
increases.
have. I'm running
Why?
out of space.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Rakesh,
Yeah.
crime rate still increased.
Hey, math,
Because
calc
of-
took so much
Because
notes.
of what? You told me.
Or do you use like different?
We don't. I'm just stating that
It's
you
like
did increase the
class
laws and
for
regulations.
Teachers divider.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah,
How?
we have a higher execution rate than we used to.
Yeah, so this was supposed
Yeah, we
to be
do.
for Cam.
We have almost 300.
Oh my
I
god.
started
He
using
always.
for Cam, because the
Ashish,
first
go to
section
sleep.
is
Don't
Cam,
listen to
and
you.
Okay, you know what? I'm just
then third
concluding this.
section is architecture, which has not been used up, but.
In 10 seconds or less, tell me what the hell y'all are arguing.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, what Rakesh is saying is,
No sense at all.
Listen.
Go.
what Rakesh is saying is that even if there are, what were you going to say? Give me a second.
10 seconds are up.
Making a justice system is gonna yield a lower crime rate and stuff like that, lower violence. I'm stating the argument. Even if you do have a higher justice system or any good a hero, there's still gonna be an increase in crime rate.
For every situation.
Yes, look,
You believe for every situation.
most
Okay, yeah,
So
wait.
why do we do it then?
Why do we do what?
Wait, that's a good argument.
So why do we have this?
No.
So why do we?
Wait, shut.
He's
Wait.
triggered.
No. It's a
What do you
good. No. Instead of looking at it
Why don't I
from.
kill you right now? Like, oh, I want to go to jail. Let me kill you.
You're saying crime rates would be
That's
lower.
He's on
That's
camera.
morality. That's morality. That's
No, it's
not-
because he's on camera.
No. It's a good. Okay, instead of
But if
thinking of
there are
it.
no cops, what if he's
Okay, yeah. Instead of thinking of it from like Batman from like extreme level, let's just think of it as like cops right now. If we didn't have cops, like something good opposing the evil, is what is stopping us from running wild?
Exactly. So there's
Our morality.
Think about Heart of Darkness, Lord of the Flies, all of that.
Fucking-
They had none of that.
That's not realistic.
Yes, it is.
That's not
Without law, we cannot control
I know
ourselves.
for a fact that I would not be like that.
Yes, you would be Simon if you murdered.
What if you were born into a world without cops? You would be like that.
You
I
wouldn't.
would just be speeding.
No, you would. You're raised by your environment. People would tell
I'm
you
raised-
what's wrong and what's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you were born
But-
in an environment
okay.
where
If you're born in an environment where people are telling you what's right and wrong, but even if there are no enforcers, would you still follow what's right and wrong?
yeah, but those people wouldn't know what's right or wrong because they didn't have enforcers. So they would be telling you what's wrong.
Is it the enforcers?
Or what's
that-
right to them.
Is it the enforcers that state what's right and wrong, or is it just the enforcers that just enforce what's right and wrong, and someone else that states what's right and wrong?
They enforce what's right and wrong because it's what's stated as right and what is right. and
Okay, yeah. If you know what's stated as right and wrong, why do you need enforcement?
Because yours.
Because not everyone is like mentally stable and
It's
like
not even worth
and like
arguing
cares and
Well,
has
stop kidding.
morality.
He's just always triggered.
Anyways.
about. JB, listen to yourself. It's absolutely right. You're saying that cops make the situation worse. Like that's exactly what you're saying. That's so ridiculous that that's not even worth talking about.
What's to stop every man in Austin to rape every woman in Austin?
Morality.
Laws.
No. All men want is sex, Jimmy. Okay.
Sweden has a lower cop to like people ratio than America does. But Sweden has obviously a much lower crime rate than America. Why?
My
You should fly there and ask them.
goodness. Oh, so you're saying if Sweden has no cops at all?
That's a
then
different
yeah,
topic
then
for
we'll
another
crime
day.
rate.
Well, Sweden has less people. And like,
That's one
they're all
thing.
Sweden. They're not American.
Less
Their culture
people.
is different. Less religion, less like
Tension.
alcoholism. Yeah.
If there's more, let's do it even better.
What did you say?
He said if there was
There's more
religion.
alcohol?
No, if there was more religion, it would have been better.
How do you know they have less alcohol? I would think that they would have more alcohol because it's cold and you need heat. Alcohol provides heat. If you just
Okay, answer the question. Does a
Yeah.
stronger hero yield? Yes, it
Yes.
does yield. But is it better for society? I would say in general yes, because it enforces change. Enforces change to society, and change is good. Instead of being in the same cycle of petty crime.
Crimes and convictions.
Yeah, sure. Like petty crimes, even though it's petty, it's still negative. So as long as there's change up and down, there's always good, there's always bad. So you can never. Neutral is better than flat, petty, negative. Okay.
And quickly
That is
about the
nice.
Sweden situation.
Oh my god!
That's Ashish's contribution.
Oh, okay, continue.
He
She's
says
sorry,
it's
she's.
because of their
M1.
government system. Government provides a lot of things, and it's a homogeneous population, less difference, less problems.
Yes. Homogeneous.
So
That's what I was
think
looking
about
for.
it this way.
I was gonna say something, but I'm on camera. So
Think about it this
Wait,
way.
what do you say? What do you say?
It's homogeneous.
Homogeneous.
Okay. So,
So
okay.
there's less
Okay.
differences.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Think
So
about it
what's
this way.
tension?
There are less cops
guess.
there because there's less crime.
What do you mean? What's tension?
Like, why would
What
you
you're
be
saying?
mad at a Swedish guy? Like,
Just
please.
please.
Just living the Swedish life.
Eating Swedish fish.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
What?
Nasty as hell.
Swedish
You like
fish?
Swedish fish?
Yeah.
It's the
Joe-
worst candy.
Joe loves it, you know why?
They're pretty
Because
good.
when he goes,
Oh
he
my god.
makes me feel better. Come back down to earth.
Okay.
I made my point a long time ago.
You never said a concluding thought.
I did. You were like drugs and stuff.
Just-
like,
just
I'm
say-
Can you state your
Yeah,
concluding
answer
thought?
that question and answer if it's better for society.
Yes, in the long run. Do we still need a hero? Yeah, we do.
No, that's not my question.
What?
I said, is it better for society?
You're not
The
listening.
hero.
See?
The story, a hero is caused by a need. If there's a need, we need a hero.
But is it better if?
He's not listening to the question.
Yeah.
Can you shut up?
See?
Oh my
He's not
god.
listening to the question.
You're okay. Let's talk about drug use. That's a question, right?
I never.
God. Can you shut up? Okay. Right.
He's not listening to the question.
No, you're just being. Anyways.
When the debate is lost. Answer the question.
Dude, you're just being annoying. Like, just shut up.
He still hasn't answered the question. I'm waiting on him to answer the
Why
question.
don't you shut up? Try shutting up for a minute.
I'm waiting for
Why don't you
you.
try shutting up for a minute?
I will after
You're
you
not.
start.
You're not.
Can you start? Can you do it?
You're not.
Can you answer the question?
Okay, I need some.
Oh, I'm waiting.
For a minute.
I'm not gonna wait an
Give me
entire
10
minute.
minutes.
I'm just gonna say my thought.
Okay, sure.
Bringing, does a stronger hero heal the stronger villain? Yes, it always will. But I believe that the fact that you believe in a stronger villain, a stronger hero gives you the hope that a stronger ending will, like a stronger future will arise for you, and therefore it's a greater sacrifice it's a strong sacrifice for greater good. Does that make any sense? Alright, concluded.
Any more thoughts?
Rockets never ever on topic, as usual.
Really? You actually don't
Never
know what to
answer
say.
the
You're
question.
ranting about the most random things that make zero sense.
Never answer
Everyone
the
in the
question.
room knows that, right? Just shut up and wait.
Rocket still hasn't answered the question.
What an actual waste of time. And you can't accept a different point of view. You just
Or do
They
you
did sidetrack into something that has absolutely no like relation with what we're talking about, or like some random things. There's like
That's what she
zero way
said.
you can make a logical conversation with this person. Like, yeah, I give up. No point in ever arguing with you.
I love you, Sheesh. I miss you, buddy.
Still hasn't answered the question. Okay, signing off.
What did you do 10 minutes ago?
You feeling cold?